Hello and welcome to an Not So Awesome review, and today we're looking at the Joytoy Mercenary. This is the K version. I have no idea how else to say that, but yeah, there's usually 3 releases when it comes to these kind of figures, and this is version K. Anyways, Joytoy is a 1/18 scale Chinese company. These figures are available on Amazon and Big Bad Toy Store, and obviously places like AliExpress and stuff like that. And I've been interested for well over a year on getting some of these figures. I actually ordered one, and then I think I canceled it because I was like, you know what, I want to order something else. And I regret it. Figure is still available and possible to get. I'm definitely going to be getting it soon. But I regret it because this figure was just really fun to mess with. Especially for something at 1/18 scale. It is done so well that I kind of hope some of the more American companies kind of take note here. Anyways, let's get on with the aesthetics of the figure, and then we'll go through all of the accessories. But yeah, the figure looks good. I have very little complaints aside from the fact that he does have a black spot on his nose and above his left eyebrow, I think. That just looks like a paint mishap. The neck, you can tell, was definitely molded, at least in a different color than the skin tone, and you can see some just like kind of paint splotching on there, which sucks, but it's not something you're going to see too much, especially if you have his helmet on. Aside from that, simple black suit with a white undershirt, white shoes with some nicely painted shoelaces. The shoes are weathered pretty nice, and they stand out. They look good. They're not just like a plain thing of white that stands out. Again, the shirt even is a little weathered there. So it aesthetically, the figure looks amazing without, just any of his accessories or anything like that. Looks really good. Let's get on with what he comes with, because he does come with a really good amount of stuff, especially for a 1/18 scale figure. This is kind of where I want to be at, where I wish that other companies would be at, because it reminds me of almost a kind of mini SH figure art in a way. Articulation isn't as good, obviously, but it's definitely up there in articulation and in accessories, which is why I look at it and I think, yeah, it's kind of a mini figure art, but I'm not going to say better, but I mean, it feels solid, if that makes any sense. So it does come with a few pairs of hands, which I think automatically for 1/18 is great. It comes with a pair of fists, a right trigger hand, 2 slightly tilted forward grasping hands, and 1 left open palm. On top of that, he does come with his helmet, which looks really nice. A little submachine gun looking thing. A pistol. A belt which can holster the pistol. A very nicely detailed vest. A pouch for his leg. And this giant shield, which I think is exclusive to the K version. I think the other ones don't come with the shield. They all come with kind of their own little thing. And I picked this guy specifically because I thought he looked the best, in my opinion. Out of those 3, I might get the other ones eventually. But, for my first one, I think it looks good. And I'm definitely excited to get a few more of these guys. Alright, so one thing I will mention here is that getting him to stand, at least on this diorama, wasn't the easiest thing. So I'm using a Halo stand right here. So if you have any of those Halo figures, the stands work good, at least with this Joytoy figure. I don't know about the other ones. I would assume they're all the same peg, but, still gonna put that out there that it does work with this one. Can't confirm on others, but I'm pretty sure it probably will. Anyways, I do want to talk about some of the accessories, like the hands. They are on a little hinge, a lot like the figure art figures, and you do pop them off and then just put the other ones on. I'm not going to do it on camera right now because it is a little bit difficult to do, and I don't want to accidentally break the pegs. If you feel any resistance or anything like that, obviously heat it up. The figure is a nicer rubber. It's like solid, but it's still a rubbery figure, so you should be able to pop the hands off with some heat if they're not kind of staying in there, or maybe heat them up to pop them back in. But yeah, I'm not going to run through articulation just yet, just because I want to do that with all of his accessories on. But I'm just going to put him actually down really quick. I do want to mention the belt is removable without having to take apart the figure, which you do have to do to put on the actual vest. I don't recommend undoing the belt, just because I feel like the rubber on here eventually will end up kind of breaking. But you can take it off without having to pop his torso off, and it just slides in right there. Just grab that end and kind of pull, and you can see it kind of locks in there like you would with a regular belt in a way. But yeah, again, I would recommend just leaving it like this, and just when you pop off the torso to take out the vest, that's how you should be doing this, because again, the rubber does feel like after too many times doing that, something will probably break, unfortunately. Same with the rubber straps here. I don't know how often you want to remove the vest, because they are strapped in up here. You could I was gonna say you could probably do it by just popping off the arms, but I think I tried that yesterday and you can't, so probably not gonna happen there. His belt does have a holster for his pistol, which you can just put in right there, which is nice, looks good. The pistol itself looks good, and I do like that he has that storage. It's not just gonna fall out or anything. And they did put like a little medical pack right there, couple of grenades right there. It's really nice. Honestly, it's done really well. It's weathered really well. Nothing bad to say there. The leg strap, you can put either way. If you want to put it on that side or that side, it looks like it could go either way since it's just the same. There's nothing special between the left and the right. I'm putting it on his right leg because that's how it came in the packaging. Just slide it up there, and then friction will hold it in place pretty well. It's not going to be coming off or anything like that. The shield does have a little bit of a clip right there, which this part is like this here feels rubbery but not rubbery. It's really hard to explain. It does have some give, so you can turn it left and right. It's like almost rubber, but I'm sure that if you move it too much it will snap, so be careful with that. You can have him grab onto it like that pretty easily. It is angled down, so I don't know if that's the right hand for it. I want to say it probably isn't. I want to say that's probably for grabbing the other end of his gun right there like that, which makes a lot more sense. And I would assume the shield is meant to be held with this hand right here loosely, because it's the only way the peg is going to go to the little clip there without it being at a weird angle. But it does kind of just clip in there, and I'll get some photos, or you probably already saw some photos of him holding it. So it's a nice size shield. It's big. There's no like little glass here or anything. The silver on it's painted fine. There's like this weird blotch here, like if something got wet and stayed on there. A little bit weird. But yeah, it's nice. It's decent plastic. It feels matted. Not really going to complain about it. It looks cool, but not really the main reason I bought it. The main reason I bought it is because I really liked the helmet, which you can just pop on like that. Reminds me of some of the Star Wars figures that the clone troopers in the same scale that kind of just pop on and off. The only annoying thing is that, you know, the helmet can move independently really easily from the head. So you can put the head in one direction, turn the helmet like that if he's looking one way, but when you pull the helmet off, he's still looking the wrong way. It's not that big of a deal. It's just a little bit weird. And yeah, so we're going to pop that off for a second. And then we're going to pop off his torso right there. You can see it's just a ball peg right there. Being slid down a little bit. And getting the vest on is easy because it does have those straps. So you can just move it like that, put it up, and then lock in the straps on either side. Something like that. Then I'm going to get the belt. Just put it right there. Maybe lower that a little bit. And then just... there we go. So, again, that stays on pretty good, but if you're moving it around, it is going to slide down. You can see here he is in his uniform, or his vest, I should say, with everything on it. And yeah, aesthetic-wise, with this, I still like it. Even the white undershirt, I'm okay with. It's the neck, I feel like, is a little bit weird to me. I kind of wish he had a black kind of suit under her instead, covering the neck, because I feel like it would look a little bit, I don't know, better. Because here it looks like he's wearing a hood. The way it's molded here, there is some like paint errors on that. Just expect some paint blotches like that on these figures, which is a little bit disappointing, you know, given the price point. But again, for what you get, it's still a really good price. The shoes, when he doesn't have the vest on or any of those parts on, you know, the shoes don't stand out as much. But then I see this and I'm like just thinking, the shoes stand out so much. They're so bright compared to everything else that I feel like if you went into like a combat situation, people will be able to find you by your shoes, which probably isn't the best thing. Kind of wish they were black. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, the white looks amazing, but when it comes to just the tactical nature of this, I feel like they stand out a little bit too much. Would have been nice if they had a way to kind of just pop the shoes off and put on black ones. I think that would have been good. Or even boots, but it is what it is. Either way, I still really like the figure. I'm going to take off the helmet so you guys can get a look at the articulation for his head. He can look up, can look down, pivot side to side, look left, look right. I don't think, yeah, the neck doesn't move, but the head movement is definitely there. It's pretty good for what it is. Arm can go straight out, down, rotate all the way around. Does have that traditional 3 3/4 inch single jointed elbow that does have the swivel right there. Does maybe just over 90. Again, the hands are on a little peg right here that you can rotate so you can get the up and down movement, or if you hold the peg in place, which is a little bit difficult to do from behind the camera, you can get the other up and down movement right there. I love that. I wish more companies would do that. I know a lot of people don't like the peg sticking out like that, and I get it. You know, aesthetically it's not the greatest looking thing, but it helps with options and posing. Anyways, he can lean back, lean forward, lean side to side, rotate left, rotate right. He does have an uppercut here and then down here. So there's a lot of movement available. Even with the vest on, he can move a, you know, very good amount, especially for his size. 3 3/4 inch, A1/18 scale, usually have issues in the torso where, you know, it either won't move at all or it'll move very, very limitedly, maybe just left and right. For the legs, I think they did great. They come out that much, down, forward, back. We have an actual cut right here for the leg. We have double jointed knees to do that much. And then we have the ankle that can go forward and back, and there is a little bit of a pivot. So again, not as good as a figure art like I've been, you know, kind of comparing it to, but it is definitely the figure arts of 1/18 scale, which is great because I really love 1/18 scale for many reasons. I think I've mentioned I might do a video talking about it soon, but you know, getting this guy, having the ability to pose him as much as I can, gets me excited here because it just brings up so many better opportunities for photography and stuff like that. I don't know. I just like it. I think the company here, Joytoy, did a great job. I do recommend it. I do hear some of the older ones might have been a little bit more difficult to work with, and the joints may have not been as good. I have seen a few of the ones that one of them I wanted from them, but I've seen the joint on the arm, and it looks like it could break really easily, and I think I did see somebody do a video where theirs did break, so there's issues like that, but I believe this is one of the newer ones. They come up with figures, you know, quite frequently, so there's always something new coming out. They do a lot of Warhammer stuff too. They have the Acid Rain series of figures as well, which look really good. I do want to pick one of those up and do a comparison and stuff like that. But yeah, I expect more Joytoy figures in the future, whether it be older ones or newer ones. It's definitely a line I kind of want to invest in because, again, I'm really liking 1/18 scale. Just the older I get, the more I like it. So anyways, really quick side comparison with a Hammond Collection Ian Malcolm, which I did film a review. I don't know if it's going to be up or not by the time this one goes up, because I feel like I should refilm it. I didn't like it. I filmed it and it was like super hot and everything was like just frustrating. So I'll either use it or not, but either way, you can see here the size difference. He is small. The Mattel figures unfortunately run a bit small compared to almost every other 1/18 scale, but you know, people aren't the same height, so I can get away with it, but still I would like it if he was just slightly taller. Here we have him next to a Vintage Collection Death Watch Mandalorian. You can see here, size difference isn't too bad. I want to say their helmets don't come off like the other ones, but you can put his helmet on. You can see a little bit of a comparison right there. Actually, I do have a clone right here. Again, a little bit shorter with the vintage stuff, but I want to see, right now that we're doing all this, if I take your helmet off, does the clone's helmet, yeah, that's that's actually pretty cool. So the clone helmet fits on there in case anyone wants to try and do some mods with these figures. At the very least, when it comes to this Mercenary, you can fit a clone trooper's helmet on there. Let's see, let's do G.I. Joe. Again, taller than G.I. Joe. Joytoy does seem to be just a slightly bit taller than most 3¾ inch lines, at least from America. Here he is with a Fortnite figure where he is a lot closer in height here. Fortnite figures do run a little bit bigger just all around it, a little bit bulkier. Doesn't look bad at all, honestly, and I will be doing a review of mostly the car that came with this, the bear truck, because really liked it. Yeah, Jazzwares with Fortnite. Expect more videos with Fortnite figures. I'm not big on Fortnite. I've played it. It's alright, but I really do like what Jazzwares is doing with them. You can see here he is next to Master Chief, who is still so much taller that I actually have to zoom out so you guys can get a better look at that. But yeah, again, that mixes in really good. And just for a regular sized person in the Halo universe, here it is next to the pilot, which the pilot, his arms are like permanently stuck outwards because of the vest or something. It sucks. I should try and mod that. But yeah, you can see here again, he's taller than pilot, but not by much. Enough that I feel like you can mix him in with other 1/18 scale figures. So all in all, a really good figure, a really good entry point for me anyway in the Joytoy line. Again, I will be picking up some more of these because I'm really liking it. A few things I do want to mention is, one, if the peg pops off when you're, pulling the hand off and it's attached to it, best way to fix that is just to pop the whole hand back in, kind of grab at the edge where the peg meets the glove right there, and then kind of just slowly pop it out so that it doesn't come off of the actual hand. You won't be able to really pull it out of the peg itself if it's attached to this thing. It's just something you can't do because of the grip. Second thing is that the shield, although it's nice and looks really cool, it reminds me of the RX-78 shield, where most of those model kits, at least some of the ones I have, not all of them, make it difficult to pose with the figure and just to kind of keep it balanced in there. It doesn't feel like it clips onto his arm as tight as I would want it to. It is, again, a slightly rubbery, but it's also slightly hard plastic. It's breakable is my point. So the material for it isn't bad, but I feel like it doesn't grip on as good as it could. Yeah, that's pretty much that. Otherwise, really good figure. I want to say I paid around $35 plus tax for this thing. Resale prices usually seem to go for around 40, 44, 45, somewhere around there. But on Amazon, you'll typically find it for around the $34 range for most Joytoy figures. There are some others that run a little bit more expensive, depending on what they come with, and some packs that come with multiple figures and everything like that. But for the price point of around 30, let's say 38, 40 bucks, I do think it's worth it. Like I said, I feel like it is the figure arts of the 1/18 line. I would love to see Hasbro incorporate, G.I. Joes with this articulation. I know they're going back to the O-ring style, which, is fine for the older collectors, but for someone like me who was born later, I do like the 20th anniversary style bodies, and I feel like upgrading them to something similar to this would be amazing. Same with Star Wars Vintage Collection. They go back and forward between them being, new bodies, new molds looking amazing, and having the old bodies and not being so great. So it would be nice to see them incorporate something like this, and even to that extent for Mattel to do the same. They don't need it as much because their big thing is the dinosaurs. So yeah, they get a slight pass on that. Or even Jazzwares, if they want to incorporate some of the stuff they did on this figure with, let's say, Master Chief and some of the other Halo figures, I wouldn't complain. Because honestly, it is one of the best articulated 1/18 scale figures I've messed with. But based on this one figure, I can say I do recommend him at least, and I will definitely be picking up more. So again, stay tuned for that in the near future. And anyways, thank you all for watching, and I will see you all later. Goodbye.